Hello, broadcasters. Welcome to episode 252 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Geige, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm also doing well. It's been a good week. We got some exciting topics to cover tonight, along with a special guest, so that should be fun. For anyone new here, Dan and I are the founders of StreamYard, and we do these town halls every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do them for a few reasons. One is to stay in tune with all of you, go through the same flow that you all do with your own shows and productions. Two is to answer any of your questions. That's why we're calling it Ask StreamYard. So if there's anything you'd like us to touch on tonight, feel free to leave it in the chat. We'll do our best to get to as many as we possibly can. And I also mentioned each stream, the three pillars of StreamYard, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is the tool for you. See folks hanging out from all over the world tonight. It's good to have all of you here. We have, where did it go? We had Mexico tonight, as well as Tennessee with the Creative Lady. Great to have all of you here. We got Karen from England. I think I saw some new folks as well. Daniel for the first time. Welcome, Daniel. Good to have you here. Before I forget, we have some awesome shows on StreamYard. We have YouTube channel reviews with Dee and Daniel the second Saturday of every month. Really great show if you're looking to grow on YouTube. Both of them are pros when it comes to all things video, but it's really fun where they sort of narrow in on individual channels and give ideas on how to think about a particular niche or your analytics. It's really, really helpful stuff. We also have Enhance Your live streams the last Tuesday of the month with Nick Nimmin, who also is a pro when it comes to all things video, but tune into that one for your specific live streaming questions. And one thing we've been doing at the start of these so that we get to know a little bit more about you and you get to know a little bit more about us is a fun fact. And the fun fact we had for tonight, in the spirit of it, Halloween recently happening, is what's the worst costume you've ever worn for Halloween?
Cool. I don't know that I would describe mine as worst. Is just maybe a little harsh. I don't know that it was necessarily a bad costume, but it felt a little odd. It was when I was really young, maybe 3 years old or something. I just dressed up as a panda, which is fine, except right before Halloween, I had fallen over and I got this huge scar across my face. So I had this massive open scar and I was dressed as a panda and everyone thought I was like a zombie panda or an undead panda or something. I was like, no, I was just a panda. So that was probably, I would say, the worst in that sense. How about you?
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I definitely probably have quite a few to choose from. I think in terms of just like most annoying costume is maybe how I would think about it. Is one year I was a mummy and I didn't do a very good job like tying up the full mummy costumes. I feel like I spent more time putting it back on than enjoying Halloween. So that's probably the worst one.
Yeah, that's fair. Anything where you had to wear a mask for is kind of that material right over your mouth was never a good time. And in Canada, that would freeze too. Started to get really cold. Not fun.
Yeah, that's no good. Sweet. Okay, we already have quite a few questions here, so let's do some questions before we talk about some of the recent StreamYard changes. Let's see here. Just Jen says, hello from Alabama. How to set up the studio that will be already set up for every show. I'm new here, so maybe that's already been answered. So hopefully I'm understanding it correctly, Jen, but if not, definitely let me know. But one of the nice things about StreamYard is everything you set up for one show, it'll all be available for your next show, right? We have the concept of brands, so you can sort of prepare multiple brands if you have different shows, and all of that gets saved. Like even if you go to a new say you're on a different device or you're traveling or something like that, that's one of the cool things about StreamYard, that it's since it's in the cloud, everything is sort of saved regardless of the device you're on. So you can prepare all of that stuff beforehand, and it will be there for you next show as well. But if I misunderstood any of that, definitely let me know.
Yep.
Home Rapid Repair says, question, as my library is growing with recordings, what is the storage limit? I'm on the Pro plan. I actually don't recall the limit off the top of my head, but Dan, you probably know.
Yeah, I got it. It's 50 hours. On all paid plans, it's 50 hours. And by hours, I mean like 50 hours of recorded content. So you went live for an hour 50 times. That's 50 hours. There's no limit to how much you can actually record, but that's how much we kind of save. So once you have 50 hours stored, you can delete past ones, or there's a setting you could turn on that will automatically delete the oldest one when you go live again. And then there is the option just to purchase more storage if you want to make sure that it's all saved, and you can get up to 400 hours of storage.
Cool. And it's relatively inexpensive too.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else we had here. Paramystic says, when can we share slides or screen share? When can we add a Zoom feature to enlarge a document, photo, etc.? I don't have a specific date for you, Paramystic, but certainly something that we're open to. As a workaround, I mean, if you are sharing your screen, oftentimes the program you're sharing is going to have an option to zoom in, like a browser, for example. Generally, you can like hold control and use the mouse wheel to zoom in. But we do want to do more there, especially when it comes to sharing slides, to make that easier.
Yeah, with almost everything too. Like if you have a touchpad or something on a laptop, you can zoom in with that on pretty much every application. So that does work pretty well.
Meant to star that one, my mistake. Let's see here. We had another one from more of a comment than a question, but Ralph has been enjoying the tech support. Awesome, Ralph. Glad that's worked out well for you.
Cool. Yeah, always glad to hear
that. The Money Sports Network says, I do sports live streams. Any chance of a simple scoreboard we can edit in real time instead of having to go to the banners to change it every time? Yeah, that's a good question, Mo. It's definitely come up quite a few times. We have been talking about a way to, for folks that are looking to do pretty like customizable things, the ability to sort of like make something like a scoreboard of your own and being able to import that into StreamYard. So not necessarily like having a scoreboard feature in StreamYard, but basically having some functionality that will allow folks to basically do that on their own. I don't have a date or anything for you, but I do think once we have it, I think you'll be pretty excited about what we have in store there.
Yep. And I would say, I mean, banners is obviously a pretty simple solution though. So even with that will be just a little more advanced, whereas the banners are quite simple, which is nice, but they don't necessarily allow you to customize it all that much.
All right. Sav says, question, how does StreamYard interact with YouTube? Is it one way on taking chat? Yeah, so there's a few different ways of interacting with YouTube, Sav, but I mean, you mentioned the chat, which is definitely the main one. So if you're streaming with StreamYard to YouTube, the YouTube chat will automatically come into the studio, and like I'm doing now, I have the option to pop it up on screen and answer your question. There's other little things imported, like well, maybe not little, like super chats are imported, so you can show super chats on screen. You also see like the number of likes on YouTube and stuff. But the main method of interaction is basically seeing the comments and being able to address them, right, Dan?
Yep. You can also post as well. So if we wanted to, for one of the comments, for some reason we don't want to address it live and talk about it, we can just post in the chat on StreamYard, and it'll just post as a comment. I find the most common way is if I want to share a link or something with everyone in the audience, we can just post it in the chat. So that's pretty handy. But for the most part, a lot of people just show the comment on screen and talk about it, depending on the type of show, of course.
Cool. Let's do a couple more here, and then I want to get to some of the new stuff that recently launched. Then we can get back to some of the questions. David says, hey, David, nice to have you here. Any thoughts on having a live playlist feature, a list of pre-recorded video that broadcasts live like a TV station? Yeah, that's certainly a cool idea. We haven't talked too much about a live playlist feature. The closest thing, which I'm guessing you're already familiar with, would be like the pre-recorded feature of StreamYard, where basically beforehand you could upload a video where maybe you've combined a bunch of videos beforehand to go out live on your behalf. The other option would be with the present option. We do have the ability to sort of queue up various videos and whatnot. But yeah, it's a cool thing to think about. I'd be curious if there's any other specific ideas beyond sort of like how more details in terms of like how you'd like that to work. Would be curious to hear it.
Yeah, I'm especially curious, David, if this is something you'd want on YouTube, like a continuous feed on YouTube, or is it more of something you'd want to embed on your own website or somewhere else?
Yeah, let us know. Candy Coated Conversations. I see your question of having some issues with screen share. For something that's specific, it'll be hard for me to help here. So if you go to StreamYard.com/contact, there's a 24/7 live chat there. And if you can sort of just walk through that with them, I'm sure they can solve that for you. Anita has a convenient one that leads into one of the announcements for tonight about marking on live stream or the recording feature. How do you go about doing it? I think I missed it. Well, yeah, glad you asked, Anita, because that was one of the first topics tonight. Is last week we announced the new markers feature, which is now fully rolled out to everybody. And yeah, the basic way that works is whether you're doing a live stream or a recording at any time throughout the stream, there's a nice hotkey. Right, Dan? What is the key again? It's like
B. B as in beta.
Just B. And if you hit that at any point, basically it's there to remind you, right, if something particularly interesting happened during the stream, or for some reason you just want to mark that part. And your co-host can do it as well, right? So say if you have someone helping you in the background or whatnot, they can also use that if you if you need to stay focused on the stream itself and have someone else helping you, you do that. And then after the stream's over, in the StreamYard editor, you'll actually see all of those markers in the timeline as a way to easily figure out like, oh, hey, that was a particular part that I wanted to, repurpose into a short or a reel or something like that. Or for whatever reason, you just wanted to go back to that. One thing that came up a bunch last time was does it export into programs like Premiere and whatnot? And the answer is not at this time, but we've definitely seen the volume of folks that are interested in that, so we're certainly open to adding it. Should I go ahead and show the picture of it, Dan?
Yeah, here, let me pull it up.
Great. Yeah, so this gives you a visual overview of what it looks like. Anything to sort of add, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, I think. For anyone who's never seen the StreamYard editor, this is the editor. So this is after the show. You'll see the recording, and then you can scrub through at the bottom. And all those blue arrows essentially on the track, those are all the markers you created during the show. So if you click on one of those, it'll take you to that part. It just makes it really easy to find the things you wanted to go back and check. Especially useful if you have a long show. Like if you're doing an hour-long show, maybe create 5 or 10 markers during the show. Just saves you a lot of time having to find those again.
Absolutely. So yeah, it is available to everybody now. So if you have had a chance to use it and you have any feedback for us, definitely let us know. Super curious if there's anything else you'd like to see beyond the one that's already come up a lot when it comes to integrating with the sort of editors and whatnot that are out there. All right, let's see what else we had for tonight. I see a bunch of good ones here. Lancaster says, I have 2 email accounts registered at YouTube for streaming. Do I need 2 StreamYard accounts? You do not need 2 StreamYard accounts. The easiest thing would just be make sure that like whatever email, actually it doesn't even actually matter which email account you're using on StreamYard. You just go through the connection flow on the destination section of StreamYard, and you can connect both of those accounts.
Yep.
Tangled Stitch says, really excited about the new app and how easy it is for bringing guests onto the stream. Awesome, Tangled Stitch. Super happy to hear that. That was one of the other things we wanted to cover tonight. Is it's been a few weeks now since the guest iOS app has been available. In case you missed that announcement, the main reason why we added that feature is when it comes specifically to Safari, it's always been support for sort of the video tech that StreamYard uses is always sort of lag behind in Safari. So in the interest of giving folks the best possible experience and the most stable experience on iOS, ultimately we thought it made sense to add a native app specifically for that. So with the main focus being like making sure that we can give you guys the best quality audio and best quality video, even if you are on a mobile device. First version is just for guests, but a producer version is also in the works. Anything to add to that one, Dan?
I don't think so. Yeah, if anyone has feedback on it, it's definitely useful to know.
All right, let's see here. David says, .mov files also, please. Yes, absolutely, David. Those ones, MOV files are in the works, and it's something that we're exploring. All right. Captain Chris says, any updates on the StreamYard apps on iOS with the upcoming host experience and any potential of an Android version? So host experience being worked on. When it comes to an Android version, it's something we're open to. I don't have anything concrete to announce there yet. And the nice thing about Android it generally has had much better support in Chrome and the browsers that it uses versus sort of iOS, where it was more essential to have the native version. But it's definitely something that we're open to.
Yep.
All right. What else do we have here? Melnet says, just did a live stream and I was linked up to the host. I'm a team member on their channel and noticed I was able to chat into StreamYard and it posted on both live stream chats. Yes. So if you're streaming to multiple channels and you chat, you will have the option to choose sort of which ones you want it to chat out to. But I believe the default is that it will go out to all the chats, right, Dan?
Yeah, so I guess there's 2 different things you could be referring to here, and I'm not sure which one it is. But if you have permission to stream to this person's channel, then in the chat you'll have the option to post to all their destinations, and at the bottom you can kind of see where it's selected to post to. So if say you're streaming to 2 YouTube channels, you'll see that it's selected as all, and if you click into there, you can select the specific channel that you want to post to. The alternative is if you don't have permissions to that stream, like if you're not on their team, but it sounds like you are. If you're not, though, then there is another feature where guests can basically join the chat. And in that case, if you happen to be streaming to 2 YouTube channels, it will automatically post to both channels, and you can't actually choose which one to post to. But I don't think that applies for you if you're on the team. So I think you just need to select where you want to post to.
Awesome. All right, let's do a few more questions here. Then I want to make sure we have time to bring on our guest for tonight. Gary says, if I have any issues with the guest iOS app, what's the best way to report those? What's the best way, Dan? I mean, there's obviously the live chat, but is there anything in-app folks?
Yeah, so if you have any issues whatsoever, the most helpful place is just in the app, right on the home page. Like if you just open up the app from scratch, not by clicking on a link on the website or something, but just by opening up the app on your phone. Right at the top, there's a huge button to give feedback. Just click into there and it should let you give feedback.
Cool. Chris says, do I need to set up the hotkey, or do I click the letter B and it will mark the section of the live? I believe it is B by default, Dan, but you can change it if you want to in the hotkeys.
Yeah, so it'll default to B unless you already had that bound to another hotkey. But yeah, if you go into your settings, if you're familiar with it, in settings, there's a hotkeys section. I think it's right near the very bottom. You can change the hotkey if you want it to be something else. And for the app as well, just for you, user Gary, if it's easier, if you prefer typing things out on computer, for example, you can just go to our StreamYard.com/contact page and just let our support team know if there's any issues you want to report. Like me personally, I prefer typing on the computer, so I would do that, but
absolutely,
whatever works for you.
Practical IT with Jeremy says, any news on when local recording will move out of beta? So you can jump in, Dan, if I'm misspeaking, but I think it's gotten to the stage now where beta, we just haven't really bothered to take the beta tag off, but it has been tested rigorously enough that it is not really in beta, despite it still having the tag. We are still working to improve it as much as possible and make it as performant and as good as we possibly can. But we are it is a sort of production ready feature. It's not really a beta feature, so we probably should go ahead and remove the tag at some point.
Yeah, we're just going to put the beta tag to be cautious just because there's a lot of kind of browser intricacies and whatnot with this feature. But yeah, I would say it's pretty solid now. There's still more things we're improving, so maybe soon we'll remove it.
Cool. We have a question from Dave, says, any updates on increasing the number of brands and increasing the size/length of video overlays? Doubling the current sizes for both items would be great. Awesome, Dave. Yeah, the specific need for double being enough is good to know. I don't have a date or anything, but if it comes up a lot, so I do think it's something that we likely will change, and I appreciate the suggestion on the actual size.
Yep. So yeah, no updates yet, but definitely on our mind.
Cool. I see there's tons of other awesome questions here, and we'll get back to those after our guest for tonight. We have Braden from the team, who we're excited to have on. How are you doing, Braden?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
We're doing well.
Awesome.
Cool. Thanks for joining, Braden. For anyone who's never seen one of our StreamYard shows before, or not many of them, we often like to bring on team members from StreamYard. So obviously we got Braden today. It basically just gives all of you a chance to meet everyone behind StreamYard, not just Geige and I. So I've got a series of questions to ask Braden, just basically to give you all a chance to get to know him. And if anyone else has questions for Braden, just feel free to ask away in the chat. Cool. Ready, Braden?
Let's do it.
All right. First question. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and what you do at StreamYard?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the growth marketer here at StreamYard. So I'm responsible for our advertising initiatives. I also support the marketing team, just promoting StreamYard at live events, communicating new features, and just anything that supports StreamYard and supporting our customers daily as well.
Cool. And where are you located? Where do you live?
I'm here in Houston, Texas.
Cool. Nearby Geige and I.
Yeah.
And then how long have you been at StreamYard now?
It's been just over 8 months, so I'm still fairly new, but yeah, it's been a blast.
Cool. What would you say is your favorite StreamYard feature?
So I'm still, despite me being young, I'm still trying to get used to the whole short form content thing. So the repurposing feature really does come in handy when I'm posting to TikTok and Reels and things like that.
Cool. Awesome. And then what did you want to be when you were younger?
So when I was younger, I really, really wanted to be an astronaut. Very cliche answer, but I was that kid.
Okay. Cool. And then how did you end up getting into growth marketing?
Yeah. My story, I guess, is not like most. I quickly realized I was afraid of heights. So I started studying advertising at a very young age, and I've been doing advertising professionally basically as soon as I could work. I was consulting, freelancing, and just anywhere anyone would have me, that's where I was.
Cool. I love that you're afraid of heights. I wanted to be that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. And what would you say is your favorite thing about working at StreamYard?
I would say the culture and the team. Every day you log on your laptop. Sometimes, I work remotely, so sometimes it's hard to connect. But the whole team and organization here really makes it feel like you're right there with them, and everything that we do every day is very collaborative and just fun to be around others here at StreamYard.
Cool. Awesome. Do you have a favorite karaoke song?
Even though I can't sing it, like to save my life, it would be "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Good song.
Yeah.
Cool. And how about a favorite board game?
Favorite board game, Monopoly, obviously. Yeah.
Cool. And then actually, I missed one here. How would you answer our fun fact question? That was worst costume you've ever worn.
Yeah. So it was a whoopee cushion. I don't know what got into me. I was 10, maybe.
Okay.
11 at best. So yeah.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did. It did do the thing, if that's what you're referring to. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And is this homemade or did you buy it?
So it was like a little trick of the trade. I kind of had something up my sleeve that would,
okay. Make noise.
Enable it. So yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I've never heard or seen that type of costume before. Cool.
Awesome.
All right, and like I mentioned, if anyone else has questions for Braden, please feel free to ask in the chat. That's all my questions.
Awesome. Yeah, let's see what we have here. Lots of folks saying hi to Braden. And Chris says she thinks we sound similar. Good to know. All right, let's see what else we had here. Leo Mandel. Hey, Leo, it's been a while. Nice to see you here. Can we, as a host, control the video quality on guests remotely or set the default to 720p for new guests? So not right now, right, Dan? Like you can't actually go in and change a guest's video quality.
Yeah, always good to see you, Leo. No, not yet, but I would like to add that and more controls, I would say, for allowing you to control the guest experience. I don't know if we would do what you mentioned with defaulting the quality like that, but at the very least being able to change it, which you can't do right now. Yeah, it's mostly mic controls at the moment, as you're probably familiar.
Awesome. King Reezy says, is it possible to stream on TikTok and StreamYard at the same time? Yes. So I mean, if you're referring to StreamYard on air, so like you don't necessarily have to go live on StreamYard, but we do have a feature that allows you to do that, which is called on air. And the whole idea of on air is if you're interested in doing something like a webinar or maybe just want to embed the live stream on your own website, that's what on air is all about. So if you are interested in using on air and TikTok at the same time, you can do that. TikTok, there's not a direct integration with TikTok yet. Hopefully that becomes possible in the future. But if you are using sort of the RTMP options, you'd be able to do that in addition to on air or any other live streaming platform like YouTube or Facebook.
Let me just change this so we're not covering Braden.
My mistake. I must have turned that off or something. Cool. Sean says, truly appreciate what you guys do. StreamYard has a great grassroots culture. Listening to what the customers want. Keep it up. Thanks so much, Sean. That's super nice of you to say. Another nice comment from Contagion. Love using StreamYard. Easy for everybody. And Contagion brings veteran stories to life to share with the world. That's awesome.
Cool.
All right. Should we go ahead and start queuing up the giveaway tool, Dan?
Let's do it.
Question here from Musarte says, any plans to make sharing tabs and apps on mobile? Yes, that's a good question, Musarte. That was part of the reason why we're excited about launching a native version, is it does make it much easier to enable stuff like screen sharing from mobile. So not available yet, but it is something we're actively working on, right, Dan?
Yeah, we're definitely very interested in that one.
Cool. One more here, and then I'll explain the giveaway. Russell says, following up on Lancaster's question regarding multiple accounts, can you stream to 2 YouTube accounts at the same time? Yes, you can stream to multiple YouTube channels at the same time.
Yeah, you can stream to as many as you want, really. I mean, it's limited by plan. So on the basic plan, you can stream to 3. On Pro, you can stream to 8. and it could be, some Facebook, some YouTube, all YouTube channels, kind of whatever sort of mix of destinations you want.
Cool. I think many folks are already familiar with the giveaway because we already have a lot of entries. But if you're new here, we always do a giveaway towards the end of these broadcasts. And to be eligible, all you have to do is type in #TheYard. And tonight we'll give away a StreamYard pillow and a StreamYard sweater. And to be eligible, all you got to do is type in hashtag. I think I already mentioned that, but in case you missed it, you type in hashtag. And if you're ever interested in running a giveaway like this yourself, we actually made this tool available at StreamYard.com. /giveaway. There's a video there walking you through how to use it, and you can even choose your own little slogan there. So we'll give you maybe 10 seconds or so to get in your #TheYards, and I'll answer a couple more questions while you do that.
We should show off the merch too. Here's the pillow, and then the hoodie looks kind of like that shirt, but long sleeve.
Absolutely. King Reezy says, I want my podcast to stream live on more than one platform at the same time. Then you're at the perfect place, King Reezy. That's exactly what StreamYard is for. So yeah, it's super easy. Just connect whatever platforms you want to go live to. Ralph says, question, adjusting guess, volume, compression, noise gate, dreaming here. Yeah, like sort of Dan was alluding to earlier with Leo's question, we definitely want to give more flexibility when it comes to hosts having control over the overall audio of the stream. So definitely something that we're interested in adding.
Yeah, and we do have some features already, right? So if you click on somebody at the bottom, there's 3 dots next to them. You click on that. I'm just pulling it up here for Braden. So I can control echo cancellation, whether or not background noise removal is on, and then I can adjust his mic volume if I wanted. So you do have a fair bit of control for guests, but we would like to add a bit more. And like Leo mentioned, maybe controlling camera resolution and stuff like that.
Cool. As I haven't been watching it, Dan, is the number stable now?
Yeah, I think we're stable enough.
All right, let's do it.
Cool. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck. Chantel, congrats. I feel like you must have already won because you're in the chat so much, but I don't think you've actually won yet. So thanks again for hanging out with us and being such an awesome part of the StreamYard community. So if you could shoot an email to contact@StreamYard.com, we can get you set up with all of the StreamYard merch.
Cool. Congrats, Chantel.
Cool. I think we have time for maybe 1 or 2 more here. Let's see what we had. Gizzard Gary says, use the giveaway tool every week. Guests love it. Awesome, Gary. Happy to hear that.
Cool.
We had one for Braden here. Packer Dude's curious what the most stressful or challenging part of the job is.
Yeah. I would have to say that learning new tools, learning new software, digital marketing is a very fast changing field. And to keep up with the needs of our customers, we got to be fast and nimble. So, that can sometimes be challenging, but we all take it in stride and just rely on each other.
Awesome.
Cool.
So many nice comments tonight. Thanks so much, Callie. It's really a pleasure to be able to make a product that you guys use. So you're awesome. Thanks so much. All right. On that note, this was episode 252 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. It's always a pleasure. We'll see you next week at the same time, Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Cool. And thanks for joining us, Braden.
Absolutely.